Or do I need
Yeah,
to?
the lighting is good. The lighting is.
Or
I
not? It
mean,
needs to be like
I
this.
feel kind of naked because you got all these nice records behind you, and I just have this little sign up here that says Muzilog Music. So it looks dope. It's like I am interviewing a superstar today.
I am not a superstar, Sam. You'll.
Well, to me you are. How is that? To me, you're a superstar.
Okay. Well, thank you. Um,
Yes.
I receive. I don't look at myself in that way. I just say I'm just this regular person, and I just do regular things, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's I try to
Basically,
stay the same, so that way I don't have to, try to be something that I'm not, or remember how I was when I was talking to you. I'll be like, what
that's
I do? What did I say? Yeah, yeah. But
you
thank
see
you
the
for.
whole you see, and it works great because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You see. So it's not really what you think about you, it's what we think about you.
Wait.
And we
Okay, so
love you. What are you talking about? We love you. Like it's Pepper. We're like, come on.
what's not to like about pepper unless it's too hot? I don't know.
Well, you see, sometimes you gotta dilute it a little bit, or take it in small.
Taken in
Take
small
it.
or diluted by drinking some milk. They say that gets rid of the
Yeah,
sting. Yeah.
yeah. Yes, it
But,
does. Yes, it does.
don't nobody do no milk. Yeah, milk. I remember when I interviewed Lenny
Uh,
Williams, he was like, uh, God milk? I was like, what are you talking about? God milk? I said, okay, Lenny, let's go to the next. I was like, God milk. He's like, God milk? Yeah. Yeah. He was
That's what's
funny.
up. That's what's up. Well,
That's
let
what's up.
me introduce the show and let's get started because I know you have a long day today.
Yes, I do.
So we gotta, I'm not gonna spill the beans, but you know, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, lookers, and people who touch and feel, whatever it is you do, this is the Muzilog Magazine Podcast, and we have a very special guest in the building. She goes by the name Pepper Thomas, and we want to welcome her to the show. Pepper, how are you today?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I have this thing over here because it's kind of like in the morning time. We're doing one of those red
Okay,
eye
so
things
okay,
for the
so
interview.
uh, hello.
Okay.
So what's in your cup? That's what we need to be
Cat food.
asking. What's a cat
I
food?
got I got
Uh,
cat food. Yes.
okay. In honor of Kanye Das, I'm drinking water. Okay,
Oh,
water.
okay.
I have
I
water.
feel you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. We're gonna have a time today.
Yes, we are. We are.
So, I have to throw this in before we even jump in. I met
Okay.
you a few years ago on radio. No, not on radio. It was a Zoom session. It was a
Mhm.
roundtable session,
Mhm.
and the culprit was the urban influencer people. They were the culprit that we were all attending that day.
Mhm.
Bloggers and radio personalities and so on.
Mhm.
And I met you that way.
Oh
On
wow.
on the roundtable, and I don't remember what year. We're not gonna put a thing on it, but it could have been maybe over 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's probably I've been doing the podcast for 3 years now, so it's probably
Mhm.
yeah, for maybe 3 or 4 years. Yeah, maybe 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
And we
mhm.
just stayed in touch,
I
and
know.
kind of like life has led us to this point.
I know. So can I go get something right quick?
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
we
of
could.
course I can.
Yeah, we're taping.
I want to show you something. Hold on. Okay. So
I think I know what's gonna happen, but okay, let's see.
what do you think is going to happen?
I don't want to give it away. Do your thing.
Did you send me this?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. And let me tell
Yes,
you, it
I.
is the most amazing gift. And
Oh,
I've never received anything like this. And I have been meaning to call you to see where did you get this from? Because it's insulated
Yeah. Yeah.
and the quality is just absolutely amazing. And I was like, yeah, so I have this. So that's how much
Uh-huh.
I remember. I have this.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Yes.
So this is from the record. Remember I had that album out, Soul Music
Yes.
Vineyard,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and you were kind enough to give one of my records a spin,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know.
I
And
was.
what I guess for in a walk of life, when you
Hmm.
meet someone and they do something special,
Hmm.
it leaves a mark.
Okay.
And I remembered when I had reached out to get this, I had this single that I was putting
Mhm,
out, and then I reached out to
mhm.
you, and then you actually did something a little different than what everyone does. Like normally they'll just take the MP3 and then maybe they played it, maybe they didn't play it, but we don't
Right.
know.
Right. We don't
Which
know.
which we still appreciate to the radio folks out there.
Right. Right.
But you actually reached back and said, "Hey, I'm playing it today at this time." That don't normally happen. So something like that, I was like, this is a little different. So I
Yeah.
started doing. I had to do some promotional
Mhm,
products, and I
mhm.
said, I'm going to make sure I send something out to Pepper,
You did.
and it didn't happen right away, but eventually it got there.
Yes.
So just I could put a plug in for the company that I used for that. There's a company
Okay.
called Spreadshirt. So
Spreadshirt. Okay.
Spreadshirt was a company. They see they're not paying me for this though, but we're gonna give them a plug because I mean, if you like the product, they do good. They
Yes.
do good work. They do
Yes.
really good work, and
I
in
love it.
terms of the branding and everything, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, it wasn't
great.
one of those little rinky-dinky bags, right? This was like boom,
No,
like oh my
no.
god,
Because when I got it, I was like, oh, this is nice. Because, it's all about texture to me. It's like, oh, how does
yes.
it feel? Like I want it to feel good when I'm wearing
Oh
it. I just want it to.
wow.
I know that's
Let me get
stop
some
it.
coffee really quick.
Stop it, Samuel. Samuel. Okay. So yeah, so when I got it, I was like, and then it was heavy. It wasn't
Mhm,
light where it was gonna I like, oh, it
mhm.
might break if I put my books in here or whatever I'm carrying. And then I
Yeah.
opened it up and I went, it's insulated? It's insulated. I was like, well,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
use it when I'm traveling, taking trips.
Oh,
I put my
wow.
stuff in there and my stuff is able to stay. So until I get to my
It
destination. So
survives.
yes, it
It
survives. So
survives
thank
what you
you
go
so
through.
much. I
Yes,
use it.
yes.
I do
You are
use it.
so welcome, and the honor is mine that you um I think the other thing too is that when you're at our level as
Mhm,
artists and we've traveled the path of going on stage, selling
mhm,
tickets,
mhm,
lifting keyboards and speakers,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
if there's a little ray of hope where someone shows interest,
Oh, wow.
it leaves a mark because as an artist, we're living, and we'll get into that too. But as
Mhm,
artists,
mhm,
a lot of
mhm,
times we don't really get to see if our music was, how was it received? Did the person was
mhm.
it relaxing?
Yeah,
Did they
yeah,
enjoy it?
yeah.
Did they get something? We don't know. We don't really get to know or see it, unless you're, in the life and then
Right.
and lights and so on, and you get to see that audience respond. So when you don't really get to see, or you see a little ray of hope, like, hey, this person really appreciated
Mm,
uh something, then you remember, like, oh, this person over here and
mhm,
that person over there. So
mhm.
yes, I was happy to take the time. I wasn't expecting that, but thank you so much, and i'm
You're
i'm
welcome.
happy it's bringing some joy
It
to your
is.
life. And I made sure it's red. It's kind of like that reddish, kind of
That
pepperish kind of a
that hot. Yeah,
that hot.
that hot.
That's right. That's right. So let's jump into your life because it's all about you today.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's all
which
about
is
you today.
unusual. Okay. So
Yeah,
yes, okay.
you see, we gotta appreciate our superstars out here. We gotta,
There you go. Okay.
yes, yes. So, what drew you into the world of radio?
Um, I have always loved music, and growing
Hmm.
up, been singing since I was 7. My dad was a quartet singer. My mom played the piano. My sister sang. My nephew plays the drums. So we had a family group. And so been singing, always had music in the house. I played the piano,
Okay.
started playing, taking lessons at 7. I was the only one out of my sisters that continued because my mom was like, look, I'm not sending y'all to no lessons because y'all are not learning. You're listening to your sister and you're trying to play by ear. So enough is enough. So I continued on, but I always had music in the house. You know, my dad, we had, you know, before it was R&B, I was listening to Peter, Paul and Mary, you know, like, yeah. So that was the radio. And so, I mean, my dad would play country, folk, R&B. So I heard it all. So we've always been, you know, into music in our household. And I would listen to the radio. And I was fascinated. I would listen to this station in Austin called KNOW. And the guy on there was Michael Cash. May he rest in power. He passed last year. But I would listen to him, and he had this voice that was just so exciting and yet, you know, sultry and sexy. And he'd be like, Michael Cash, KNOW. And I'd be like, that is so cool. So one day he was interviewing an artist, and I can't think of the artist. It was a group. It was a female and two guys. And I'm thinking about it later, but yeah, I have to research it and find out who that was. But he interviewed them, and he was giving away tickets. And I called in and I won. Yes. So at that time, I was recording with my cassette player. So I was recording me on the radio, and I was like, I can't believe I was on the radio. I was on the radio. I won some tickets. This is crazy. I won tickets. So I was just, you know, I would listen to him every night when he was on. I'd just be like, you know, I wonder, can I do that? So I walked into a radio station in Austin named KAZI and said, hey, I want to do radio. And they were like, you got any training? I'm like, no, but I got my broadcaster's license. You know how you have to send off I still have my little broadcast ID.
Oh, you get an ID to be okay. See, I missed that. I missed that part of the life.
Yeah, because they don't do that anymore. That tells you how long ago that was. You're like, I don't remember that, Pepper. Yeah. So I walked in, and then I did training, and I did training for like 6 months overnight while still working. And yeah, and they called me up like 3 times on a Saturday morning and said, hey, can you come in? Because so-and-so didn't show up. And I was like, sure. And when I started on the radio, the program director was like, hey, Pepper, great show. Everyone is loving the music. Like, great show. But can we ask you something to do? And I was like, okay, am I doing something wrong? He said, oh, no, the music's great. But can you open the mic and say something? And I was like, what do you need me to say? Like, he's like, well, it'd be great if we heard your voice. Like, and I go, but don't you have the IDs for that? Isn't the IDs telling what it is? He's like, okay. So then the second time they called me, and they were like, music is great, but can you just talk? And I was like, I'm not used to talking. They were like, really? I go, it's different. It's different thinking that people are listening to you, right? It's like, so he gave me this idea. He says, okay, this is what I want you to do. This is the best advice he could have given me. He says, I need you to go home, and I need you to sit down and get a mirror. And I want you to sit the mirror in front of you, and I want you to talk. And I go, and what is that going to do? He says, so you can see yourself, so you can talk to yourself, and you'll see. And I did that, and it made a world of difference. And I was able to come in and say, you're listening to KZI. My name is Pepper Thomas. Next song is that, you know, they were getting that much out of me, you know. Yeah. So,
okay. All right. You see, I didn't even know we would get this. You got a license, like what was the process getting that?
You sent off, look here, I think I have it.
Oh my goodness. An artifact.
Tell people what an artifact is. You know, they're going, what is that? What is an artifact? Ancient. That's what it is. So here is. Oh
my God.
Yeah.
With signatures.
With signatures. And let me tell you the year it says on this. I'm gonna be like, what the year does it say? Okay, it says, oh, maybe it doesn't say year. Oh, it says 8/2/1991. Yes, it has
All
its
right,
stamp on the
we
side.
gotta clap that up.
Matter of fact, thank you, because I need to look here. I need to put this in a frame right in the middle of this. That's what I need to do.
Yeah.
The
This
wall of
is
artifacts.
yeah. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So what was it like now that they got you to speak? What was it like actually developing? Now you had to develop some sort of a vibe or a system or
Um,
what was
I think the best system that I use, and I still use it to this day, I've gotten better about it. But
Mhm.
when I'm in the studio and I'm on the radio, I do not like people in the studio.
Oh, you kick everyone out.
I kick everyone out. Yeah. And people over the years knew not to come into the studio. They're like, tread lightly. Don't do it. Do not walk in there. Yeah. So I think that, because to me, anytime that I was on the radio, I wanted to give my best.
Mm.
And to me, I felt that people can be distracting. So when I'm trying to give someone something, I don't need you walking in and talking to me. And I'm a great multitasker. I can multitask. I could be sitting here typing, but while I'm doing my show, it's like, because there's a vibe, there's a system, and I don't write out a
Mhm.
playlist. I've never written out a
Oh,
playlist. I don't walk in going, I'm going to play these songs and that's it. No, I walk in and what I'm feeling. It might be raining in Texas. I'd be like, you know what? I think I'm going to do some slow music today. We having storms over here. And they like, why is she slowing it down today? Because that's what I'm just feeling, So
because it's a
I just,
vibe. It's a vibe at the
it's
moment.
a vibe. It's a vibe. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just kind of pull songs out and what I'm feeling. So yeah, I've always been particular about that. I don't. So
Mhm.
when I started interviewing artists, that was really weird to me, because I was like, wait, somebody's in the studio with me. Now I have to give some of this energy that I have. Now I have to share it, Now I have to
Mm.
make sure that I'm not acting as though, what are you doing in my space? But I have to be like, okay, I need to invite them into the space and go,
Mhm.
it's okay, just ask the questions and give them the eye contact. But while I'm doing the eye contact, I'm over here thinking about Facebook. I'm over here thinking about Instagram. I'm over here thinking about YouTube. I'm over here thinking about TikTok. I'm over here trying to think about the next
Yes,
song I'm supposed to do. Yeah. So it's a lot
it's the
of
whole
moving
thing.
parts.
It's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
And it's
Now,
only
now,
me.
did you start?
I don't have a
Uh,
producer.
okay. Well, maybe they got scared when you started. They're like, I ain't trying to get in there.
They're like,
So,
no.
but the thing is though, when you started interviewing,
Mhm.
was it social media ready, or were they actually
No,
coming to the studio at the station?
they were coming to the
Um,
studio. Yes. They
okay,
were coming to the studio.
okay,
Yeah. And that was
and you've always
terrifying.
been in. It was terrifying.
Yeah. It was terrifying.
You're over it now, or you still?
Um, I am, yeah, I'm over it.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I'm grateful and thankful for God not putting certain artists or people in front of me. And
Ooh,
I've come
okay.
to realize that it's a good thing, because I don't think some people are ready to.
Mm,
I'm not a Wendy Williams. I'm not I'm not really concerned about what you do. I don't care who you're dating. It really doesn't. It's about the
I
music
see.
and people understanding who you are as a person. But all that
Hmm.
extra stuff and the drama, I don't, yeah, none of that. But yeah,
Okay.
I've gotten better. I've gotten much better, because look, I'm on your show. This is my
You see what
very,
I'm
just to let
saying?
you know. This is to let you
Yeah.
know, this is my first interview
Oh, about
pertaining to
you?
my uh not about me. Well, yeah, about me and the album. No
Okay.
one has interviewed me about the album. And I've probably had maybe 2 interviews in my lifetime of people wanting to interview me. It's very rare.
Okay.
So you
Yes,
special,
it's a rare
Samuel.
thing. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Muzilog Music Radio.
Music
We're
love
getting it in.
you. Yeah.
So this is cool. So actually, this is a cool segue to for us to segue. Well, it's a cool segue for us to segue, right? I'm tying up myself here. I'm so excited. But this is a good way to jump into what actually ignited this. I'm on Facebook and I see that you started talking about, you had a post about the record, the house that Pepper built. And I think one day I was listening to you, I was driving somewhere. Because sometimes I just tune in and, just check out what everyone else is doing.
I thank you.
And yes, you're welcome in Black media. And a couple of us, we and again, shout out to the urban influencer that sort of created a little, like a little networking environment where we could see who are the other people that's doing their thing. So once in a while you'd have an interview. In fact, you interviewed a former student of mine, and I tuned in for that.
Who is that?
Her name is Jessica Jolia.
No, in California.
Yes. She's a Full Sail grad.
Wow.
Yes,
I love her.
yes,
She
yes.
is.
So I tuned in that day. That I was actually driving and tuned in and listened to the show that day. So yeah, it's amazing. But I think in one of the interviews you were doing while I'm driving, you talk about the house that Pepper built, and then I heard this piece of music. I was like, oh, this is kind of like nice, it's like someone was, it's kind of nice. And then but you spoke about that, maybe it could have been a couple of weeks before, and then I saw the post on Facebook, and then that's when I reached out and said, hey, we need to talk about this record.
No, what you said was, hey, I need the exclusive. I want to get
yes.
That's what you said. That's what
I sort of come in the room that way. That's like two boxers just going and somebody's gonna get knocked out, but they two guys are just coming in like, yeah.
Come on.
So, I come in, I want the exclusive.
That's what you said. That's what you said. Yes.
In a playful way, because I don't know what you had going on, and but yeah, we want to meet the exclusive at Muzilog Music Radio.
Yes, so, you're the exclusive. Thank you for reaching out. Yes.
So what was the whole thing behind this? Did you wake up one day and said, I need a record? What's going on?
That is not how that happened. I'm behind the scenes. I'm behind the mic. I'm not used to being out front. So I'm like, no, I did not wake up. What happened? Let's see. How can I tell this in a quick way, but a long way? Or how can I tell this in a long way, but a quick way? Yes. Okay. So probably 11 months before my next birthday, I was in the airport. And Antone, who's the producer, one of the producers on the album, called me in the airport and he says, hey, sis, what you doing? And I says, I'm on my way to Wisconsin because Chris Crane was having a live recording and he invited me to Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I was at the airport and I was like, I'm at the airport on board. He says, so I got a question. So what do you want to do for your birthday? And I said, why? Because I asked the questions. No one asked me questions because I'm an FBI. I'd be like, why they asking me that? Yeah, what they want to know. Hard to surprise me, right? So he says, so what do you want to do? Where do you want to go anywhere in particular? I was like, you know what? I would love to go to Lagos, Nigeria. I wanted to go because I keep watching all the stuff on Netflix. I want to go to Lagos, Nigeria. He's like, okay, so how long would you want to stay? And I go, well, you got to stay long enough. You can't stay for like 3 or 4 days. So
it takes you long to get there anyway. You got to go. It's like 2 days to get there anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, Lagos, Nigeria. And he says, okay. I said, maybe, 14 days. That'd be great. He said, okay. He said, anywhere else? I says, he says, what about a cruise? And I says, I just went on a cruise. He said, oh, you did? I said, yeah, my very first cruise. I went in July. He said, okay. Would you like to go on another one? I said, yeah, So we're talking and he said, any place else? I said, I've never been to Canada. And, just, I don't know. I have to think about it. And he says, okay. I says, who's in the background? He says, what are you talking about? And I said, I hear somebody in the background. He says, there's nobody in the background. I said, yeah, right. I hear somebody talking. He says, I don't know what you're talking about, sis. There's nobody in the background. I was like, okay. So he gets off the phone and I'm thinking, why is he asking me all these questions about my birthday? It's next year. So that was it. So then maybe a few months later, he says, hey, I need you to sign up for ASCAP. And I go, why? I don't write. I don't produce. Let's see. He says, just sign up. Just do it.
Oh my God.
And I said, well, how much is it? He said, oh, it's free. And if it is, I'll take care of it. I was like, what? He said, just do it and let me know when you do it. I said, okay. So I did it. And that was it. I said, he said, are there codes? I said, yeah, here's a code. And that was it. I went on about my business. So 2 months, it was released in November of last year. So maybe August, September, Anton calls me and he says, hey, sis, I need to get on your show. And I says, for what? Because he's, he plays horns, he's a producer, engineer, DJ, writer, singer. I'm like, but you don't have an album. Like, you produce for everybody else. So what do you need to come on my show for? He says, because I got a project coming out. And I go, how you have a project coming out? Matter of fact, why are you calling me? I should be calling you. How do you call me to get on my show? He's like, dang, can you just? And I go, what you got? He says, I have a project coming out. And I says, so when do I hear it? He says, well, I haven't finished it yet. And I says, so when do I list it? He says, well, I'll get it to you. And I go, well, I guess so. When? He says, well, how about your birthday? And I said, well, I never work on my birthday. So it'd have to be the week after. He says, okay, we'll do it the week after. I said, okay, cool. So months they get closer and closer. And he says, I said, so when do you send in the album? He says, okay, if I send you the album, can you promise not to open it? And I says, I can't promise that. He says, are you serious? I said, I can't promise it. I'm not gonna lie. How do you tell someone who listens to music, I'm getting ready to send you some music, but you can't listen to it? Really? I said, no, I need to listen to it. So he's like, okay, well, I just want to send it. I said, okay, fine. I said, but I don't know how you expect to get interviewed on my show, and I ain't never listened to music. I don't even know what I'm playing. So gets closer, and he says, it's like 2 weeks. He says, if I send you, I said, nope. I need to listen to it. So the day before he was supposed to come, he says, can I send you the music? But can you not open it? I says, okay, I won't open it. He said, you promise? I says, you have my word. I will not open it. So he sent the music. Saturday morning, I'm like, I got this email, right? And I'm doing this interview today at 3:00. Because then I said, so how long you going to come in at 4:30? Because he's going to drive from Dallas. I said, you're going to come in at 4:30? He says, no, how long is your show? I said 3 to 6. And he says, well, I'll just do the whole show. And I said, how much music is on this album? Because I can play like 33, 40 songs in 3 hours. You got 33 or 40 songs? I said, really? What's on the album? He says, no. He says, it'll be good. He said, I like hanging out with you, sis. And I'll just come in. I was like, okay. I don't know how this is going to work. So the day of, he's like, you got the email? I said, yeah. And I says, hey, is Val coming? His wife. He says, no, she's not going to make it. I said, what? She always comes with you. Tell her she needs to be coming with you. He says, no, she won't be coming. So I was going to pick up the phone and call her and say, you not coming? Really? But I didn't. Found out that she was at the house going, please don't call me because I don't call my phone. So the day, the day is taking place and it's almost time for me to get to the radio station. So I'm on my way to the radio station and it's a week after my birthday, right? So I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. I don't know what I'm playing, but never had a show like this, but we're going to make it work.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
You're going to vibe it out.
Exactly. So I get to the radio station. On my way, Anton calls and says, hey, sis. He says, where you at? And I says, I'm almost to the radio station. He said, okay. I said, where are you at? He says, we're not too far. No, he says, I'm not too far. He never said we. He said, I'm not too far. And I said, okay. You know what? Can you stop by the store and give me a protein bar? I haven't eaten and I just need something. He said, sure. I got you. I said, okay, cool. So I pull in, back up, get my stuff out, going to the radio station and I'm preparing and I'm like, and so Dinky D, who's a DJ, one of our mixed DJs at the station, excellent mixer. Mm-hmm. he says, Pepper, he says, are you expecting someone? And I says, yeah. And he says, well, he's here. And I says, okay. So my head is down, right? And I'm like, so the door is here, but I can't see past the monitors. So I'm writing down, and I says, yeah, I see his hand. And I says, tell him to sign in. He knows the routine. He's been here before. I said, tell him to sign in. He says, okay. So he turns around. I hear him, saying something. So then all of a sudden, I'm trying to prepare, right? I got like 15 minutes until my show starts. So I'm like, and all of a sudden, Anton says, woman, come here. So I'm not looking. I'm like, Anton, can you just sign the log and just come into the studio? So I'm still writing. Woman, can you get in here? And I go, Anton, can you just sign the book? It's not that serious. I said, I got to get ready for my show. Just sign the book. So he says it a third time. So it's like, what, 8 till? So I get up. I go, man, dang. So I get up, distraction, right? I got to focus. I got to do my show. So I get up. I go around the studio desk, and I'm walking through the door. And right when I get past the entrance in the receptionist area of the radio station, there are 11 people looking at me. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, what? And they're like, happy birthday. I'm going, what? And Val is there. And I go, you weren't supposed to be coming. What? Excuse me? So Anton's hugging me, and I'm going down the line. And 2 people I've never met before, but I knew who they were, which is the God. Like, never met them in my life. Like, wow. Yeah. So he says, you don't know them, but you play their music. And I go, Malikone. How did you know? I was like, I don't know. Okay, you spoke to her like 3 minutes on video, but you really didn't see her. I said, LePage. And then I go, Blanche J, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be touring with Ari Lennox. You're a background singer and vocal coach. What are you doing here? We had to be here for Pepper. I was like, so 6 of the artists from the project came to the studio.
Wow.
So I told them to come in. Yeah. Told them to come in, sit down. I only have 2 chairs. I don't know what y'all gonna do. So they went around and found some chairs. And so when I tell you about the energy thing of having all these people in the studio, I'm sitting here going, there are 11 people looking at me in a circle. And I'm just sitting there going, I don't know what I'm doing, but I have no clue. And I'm on the mic going, y'all, there are people in the studio, and they came because it's my birthday last week and they want to say happy birthday. I was like, and still not knowing what it's about. Right. So I get on the mic and I say, y'all, this is the most unscripted show in my career of radio. Never. I don't know what I'm playing. I don't know what's coming up. Anton wants me to play my intro, and I just played my intro. He says, download the album, right? And I go, okay. So I download the album. He says, play the first song. Do not play anything else. And I said, okay. So I downloaded it, and I see intro, and I go, why am I playing my intro? Because this is the Hot Pepper Show intro. And I says, I just played the intro 15 minutes ago. He says, just play it. I said, but why do I play it again? Because I played it at the top of every hour. So why I need to play it 15 minutes after the top of the hour? He says, woman, just play the intro. So I play the intro, and I go, what'd you do to my intro? My intro sounds different. I said, I ain't never heard no guitar. He said, the guitar's always been there. I just kind of revamped it. I was like, because I know my intro. I've been playing this intro for 5 years. I know this intro. So I played it, and he says, I'll come on the mic afterward. And I says, okay. So he comes on the mic, and he says, hey, I says, y'all, this is Anton. I have no idea what's going on. I have this album I haven't listened to. I don't know. I just played my intro twice. I have no clue. So Anton's going to take it away. So Anton gets on. He says, hey, everyone, this is Anton. We wanted to do something nice for Pepper. So I'm sitting there going, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. So he says, so you are a giver. You give. You support. You don't ask for anything. You don't ask for money. You just like, what can I do? And he says, and you've been doing this for a long time. You've been giving to us as artists. You support, you promote, you like it, you're going to tell everyone else about it. So he says, we wanted to do something nice for you. So I'm still sitting there looking at him going, I don't know what he's talking about. So he says, so what we did was we put an album together. We got together like 12, 13 artists. And they wrote 9 songs about you.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there going,
amazing.
What? Like, I said, huh? And so everyone's looking at me and I'm going, what? The? He said, yeah, so we wrote 9 songs. And he says, and we also, when I asked you to sign up for ASCAP, and I was like, yeah. And he says, you get 10% of every song. And I go, what? I was still sitting there going, what that mean? What that mean? So I was like, so he says, so here's the album title. He turned it around on my laptop. He says, it's entitled The House That Pepper Built. Because all of the people that are here and the people that love you in the industry, that you've become friends with, that love you to death, they will do anything for you. When I call them up and I says, hey, we want to do this for Pepper, they were all in. They were like, when? What do I need to do?
Wow.
And they did it for free. I was like, what? Huh? He says, yeah, they says, and some people couldn't do it because of their schedules and they wanted to, Frank McComb, Darian Dean, Gino Young. And he says they wanted to, but the schedule didn't permit. But yeah, so they did it. And so he turns it around. He says, here are the artists on the project. So I go, Eric Roberson? I was like, Eric Roberson is up. I was like, what? And then I go, Amber of Moonchild? I was like, Blitz J? And so I was,
wow.
Yeah. Timothy Bloom and Carmen Rogers. Yeah. So I just, so he says, so this is for you. We love you. And we just want you to know that what you've done over the years has not gone unheard. Like, you pay attention you're interested in the artist, you're interested in the music. And we had to do something for you. So I was just sitting there going, is he freaking kidding me? Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And a lot of the artists, like Amber of Moonchild, I was the first person to play their music on the radio.
Oh, wow.
I was introduced to them by Darius Wilrich out of Seattle, Washington, who's the MD for Diggable Planets. And he called me and he said, Pepper, I ran into this group. You got to interview them. I was like, who are they? He said, I don't know. They call Moonchild, but they were just in the hotel entrance playing. And I was like, what? He said, yeah. He said, you got to, I'll connect y'all. So he connected us and they were like, oh yeah, we have music, but they're like Flower Child. Oh yeah, we're just going through life. Like, oh yeah, we go to jazz, we go to school, taking up jazz, and we're just having fun and we're just hanging out. And so I was like, well, can you send me some music? So they sent me some music, and I said, hey, I want to have you on my show. And I interviewed them. I gave them their first interview, and then next thing you know, where's Moonchild now? And they said they will always remember. They were like,
they're pretty big. They just did something with Jill and
yes,
and Rhapsody, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They just did something with them.
Yes.
And this is amazing. You know what is so intriguing about this story?
What?
What is so intriguing is that whoever planned it, they had to know you.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, she's going to say this. So they had to know you and actually keep you guessing all the way.
And so not get upset with you, right?
Right? Whoever planned it, kudos. They did a really, really good job. I wasn't even expecting the highs and the low in the story.
Yeah. It was like, yeah.
Because I'm thinking, what did they bring tickets to the birthday party and say, here's a trip for to go to Nigeria?
Who you telling? Because I was like, so when I was in the airport and you were asking all of that, Lagos, Nigeria, come on. Like, but I said, this is better than Lagos, Nigeria. Maybe I can go to Lagos, Nigeria and listen to my album while I'm there going,
right.
A birthday present. Yeah.
This is amazing. So it's been roughly a year. What has the response been like? What has the experience been like for you?
The experience has been overwhelming. I am
Mm,
still um in an unbelief stage. When I listen to
mm,
it, I listen to the album. I listen to the album every day, and it's just I can't believe that someone did this. I can't believe that all of the people
mm.
came together and did this. It's yeah,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. It's mind blowing, and I think that people, when I tell people that I have an album, um, when I type it in their text messages, they look at it and go, "Oh, okay, it's an album." And then when they hear it later and go, "You didn't tell me you had an album," I go, "I texted to you." Oh, that's what you. That's what. Oh, I thought it was something. I thought you were talking about your podcast. Oh, I thought it was. So I don't think that people really pay attention that I have an album because they're like, I think because I'm always, introducing them to this and that. So they just kind of like, so it's still new. People have not
Mhm,
gotten
mhm.
on the bandwagon, but it's a beautiful project, and I wish that everyone would listen to it. It's
It is a beautiful project. I am so
mhm.
happy to get the exclusive on the story. I mean, I was not even expecting a story like this. I just thought it was like, well, we did this and we thought of that and this one and it came together. But this is
Another.
amazing. This
Yeah.
is like so unearthed.
Yes. Yeah.
This is,
It's like
you know,
yeah, unbelievable. Yeah.
it would
Yeah.
be interesting to see if there were any behind the scenes stuff, but I guess that they may be saving that for the next birthday.
Well, one of the behind the scenes that I was told about was the gentleman that sings my intro, Lawyer Turner. He
Hmm.
wrote another song on the album called Give It to Me. And it was
Hmm.
written for me because
Oh,
I lost my boyfriend 5 years ago.
oh,
And he wrote
sorry
a
to hear that.
song about, thank you. He wrote a song about um, the grieving process
Mm,
because he was a part of the grieving from a distance.
hmm.
Um, when I came back, I was off the radio for like maybe a year after he passed because
Mm,
I just couldn't go back to radio. And I had been off because it was at the beginning of COVID. So it was COVID and then he passed. And then, so it was like a year. And Will Downing called me and told me, you got to get back on the radio. And I said, Will, I can't do it. It's too much. It's too hard. And he says, you got it. You got it. So I was like, okay, okay. So Will was on me and I was like, okay. So I went back, but when I went back, I had to do a tribute to Tony.
hmm.
So a part of the tribute is I played his voice, I played his voicemails, I took people on a journey, and I played the music
Wow.
that he liked, the music that we listened to on the motorcycle. So it was like this beautiful tribute for 3 hours. And I wanted to make it seem like I was interviewing an artist, but he wasn't here because that was the objective.
Mm,
Like, how can you interview someone and they're not here? So Lawyer heard the show. And when he saw me, he says, I heard your show. I could not
mm,
leave I could not leave. I had to sit here and listen to the whole thing. And I felt like I knew Tony by the time you finished. So he
mm.
used that information 4 years
And he
later
tapped in.
and wrote a
Hmm.
song. And so he tapped in by, he says, he had to figure out how can I make this a song of love, gratitude, grieving, happiness,
Mm,
joy, all of that. So he says he took everything out of the room so he could channel through God and Tony.
mm,
He said, I removed everything. And I
mm,
sat in the room and I prayed to God, help me to write this song. So
mm,
when you're listening to the song, it is exactly, the words are, I got to love and live. And he's saying that he will always be here with me. When I look around and there's the darkness in the corner, that's him. When
mhm,
I'm lonely, he'll be here. So it was like, you got to, all of that. And then he says the only thing he had an issue with is that he was like, did he pass in August? When did he pass? Because the wording was the flowers bloom.
mhm,
So
mhm.
he had to say the flowers bloom in summer because he passed in summer. So it's like the flowers are still going after his death. So there's a significant thing to everything he's saying in the song. If you listen to the song, it is
Mm,
absolutely beautiful. So yeah. So
amazing.
yeah. So that's the behind the scenes that I got that he told me. He says I had to I had to figure out. And he says, and I didn't want to call you to ask when he passed. So he says, I started doing some research, and then I found out that he passed in June. So he says that was the only part that he was missing in the song. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I wasn't even expecting it on this level, but this is, I mean, the interviews just write themselves. They just, the stories. This is so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So,
Eric,
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm not interviewing. Go on.
No. You said you were going to say something about Eric.
Well, no, you're going to say something. I'm gonna let you have.
No. I'm all choking up here. What I was actually going to say was for the Muzilog platform, because I do have people that tune into like the stories of, I actually have a little cult following I didn't know about. Some of my former students are tuning into especially the podcast, and I sort of found that out recently because I also interviewed another colleague of ours recently, Lisa London. And because of the courses that I teach, they tapped into that interview, and of course they're going to see this one and learn about that as well. Thank you. So now knowing that all of the stories and the emphasis behind the project, plus we do have a radio station portion of what we do here. So of course we can introduce the music for listeners on Muzilog Music Radio.
Thank you.
This is so amazing. Now I'm looking at the time because I know you have a packed day today.
Oh, we can go over. We can go over. We're doing good.
Are we doing good? Okay, great.
We're doing good.
So I want to change the vibe a little bit, and I just want to get your perspective on it.
Okay.
I've seen. I'm going to just call it generally. I'll say black media. I've seen black media where it's at the pinnacle, and then I'm seeing something different. Like in the last 3 years, I'm seeing like a movement of people like us, and there are those of us that we get behind the mic. We do interviews. There's podcasting. And many times, a lot of us, we don't get paid. It's not like it's not like we're getting a paycheck, but there's some sort of like a passion going.
Yes.
Have you seen something like that happening? Like,
I have. I've seen it happening because I think that we're speaking up. We're finally speaking up and not allowing what's happening to get lost in what's happening. Because I think that when people say music is not, music is not the same. Well, I mean, when I was growing up, my parents thought, why don't you listen to the LL Cool J? And why don't you listen to Funk Master Flash? And what is she doing in college? And what? So I think the times are the same. Maybe the musical content, because music is music. But I think the movement that's happening is people are, we're tired of what they want us to listen to and hear. And we have something to say. And I think it's important for us to say what we mean and how we feel and what's good to us, because it's okay to like what we like, because I like, Brooke Benton. I didn't grow up in that era. My daddy was playing him. I love, Sam Cooke. I didn't grow up in that era, but my daddy was playing him. So I think that the music that we love, because I always tell people there is great music out there, and we have to be the people to get it out there, because mainstream is not playing it. So people are hearing music on podcasts. People are hearing music on YouTube. People are having their own channels to where they can play the music that people want to listen to, or maybe have not been introduced to, but hey, I found it out on Muzilog, or I found it out on the Hot Pepper Show, or there are other platforms and entities for them to go to. So yeah, I think it's at one time, it was kind of shaky. Like, okay, can we pull the pants up? What are we singing about? What are we doing? Like, but now I'm like, oh, so we've gotten past the skinny leg thing, and now we're into the wide legs. Everyone's wearing wide. I was like, okay, the wide leg jeans, the baggy. Okay, not bad, so much baggy or sagging, but yeah. So yeah, I think
it's coming around.
It's coming around. It's coming around. So yeah, but we can't stop. You and I cannot stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with age, because they say, oh, you get older. It'd be like, you're never too old.
You're sweet 16, behave yourself.
Wait, you know what? That's interesting because I can now say that because and October 25th is my 61st birthday. So I'll be 16. I can flip it up. Flip it around. That's what I can do.
Wow. Amazing.
I'm 16 because Samuel said so.
So in terms of now, are you back on terrestrial? You're back on terrestrial as well?
I am on terrestrial at KAZI. I'm there every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And my format is neo soul, R&B, and I interview artists. I started out doing hip hop, and then when hip hop changed, I was like, "Whoo, they saying a little bit too much. I don't want to be called a B, and I'm not a hoe.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do?" So then, start doing neo soul. So yeah, still doing radio.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you still take submissions for artists today?
Yes. I always listen to music, and they can always email me. My email address is hotpeppershow@gmail.com, and always listening to music. Yeah.
Now I do see you do interviews and on a podcast.
Yes.
I've seen one where it's sort of like revolving. You have like these same guests that will come, and you guys would do like a podcast discussion.
Yes.
And then sometimes do the show.
Yes.
So what was the vibe behind that, and where are you taking it?
Okay, so the vibe behind I've been in radio for what'd they say, 91?
It's been a minute. It's been
hold on. Let's see.
maybe
okay. 34 years. See, I had to go to that calculator. So 34 years been doing radio. I never wanted to be seen. And my inspiration was never to be on radio. I don't need to be. They're like, you need to do a talk show. No, because my facial expression shows everything. And I'd be like going, did you just really tell me that? And then I'd be rolling my eyes and be like, oh. So I was like, no, can't do that. So for years, I was like, no, I'll just do radio behind the mic. So the podcast came up 3 years ago by way of Neo Soul Cypher, which is a podcast. A gentleman heard me on the radio while in Austin during South by Southwest, and was on me for he heard a song and he called. He said, who's on the radio? Who's playing that song? I'm listening to Neo Soul while I'm traveling through Austin, Texas. Like, this is crazy. So became friends for 6 years. He was like, hey, I want you to be on my podcast. I go, I'm not doing it. No. So he begged and begged. I said, I'm not doing it. He begged, I'm not doing it. I can't do.
He had a lot of begging to do, huh?
He was begging. Yeah. He was begging. He says, can you just, and I said, I don't have time. I do too much. I don't have time. So he's like, please. He said, just do one once a month. I said, okay. Let me do once a month. So my first artist that I interviewed was Jay Lake. He is out of Tennessee, Southern Soul. Did him. And I was like, okay. And that was the only first time that I did one once a month, because the next week was Lenny Williams. And the next week, and then it ended up being Melba Moore, and then Glenn Jones and Kenny Latimer.
Wow.
And it was like, and I was like, every Monday. So I do every Monday. I've been doing every Monday. I was on this platform for a year. And then I decided to step away and start the Hot Pepper Show TV on my own podcast. So that's how it started. Ray Farrell, thank you so much for believing in me, because he was on me going like, you got to do it. I was like, So when I told him that I was stepping away to do my own podcast, he was so supportive in that. And so, so the Hot Pepper Show TV is on YouTube. So please subscribe, share, like, comment, all of that.
Yes,
and I do that every Monday at 7 p.m. Central, and I interview artists, and I focus solely on their music. And, I play some music that they haven't heard in forever. And they look at me like, you played that song? That was my first song. How did you get that song? I'll be like, that's a part of you. So they're intrigued. They love it. So yeah. So that's what I do on the podcast. And then of course the radio show is 3 hours of music and sometimes artists intertwined in that. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to what I said in the beginning when you showed interest in my music.
Mhm.
We don't hear we don't really get to feel our audience. So when you're playing something that, oh, how you got this? This is my first record. It does something to you because you're like, oh wow, someone actually checked it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you at least, so when that feedback comes back,
Yeah.
it's memorable. You
Yeah.
felt like, well, at least one person checked it out.
Exactly.
Or at
Exactly.
least there's an audience
Yeah.
somewhere. So
Yeah.
this is amazing. This is amazing. Now, so as you build your brand,
Mhm.
what's your, pretty much, like, let's say in the next year or two, where is the Hot Pepper Show going to be?
Inquiring minds would love to know, wouldn't they?
Yes, I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a
Who's
friend.
the friend? Now you just can't tell me that. I have to ask questions. Who's the friend?
I'm the friend. Okay.
Oh, you're the friend.
Inquiring minds. Yeah, inquiring minds want to know.
I would love to be syndicated. I would love for my show to be syndicated without being changed.
Okay.
Without you telling me that I need to put Lil Wayne in between there. No. So yes, I would love to be syndicated. And I have I have merchandise. I just got some merchandise.
Yes.
Not like this, of course.
Please share them. Oh, that was
yes. Okay. I have to hold it every now and then, Samuel, and go like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So you're like, I don't know what to say with that. So yes, I merchandise. They t-shirts just dropped like 3 weeks ago. So that's available on my website, thehotpeppershow.com. 4 different colors, hats, sweatshirts, and hoodies are coming later, and cups. You'll have a little coffee cup. Yeah.
Yes. So I got to get the Hot Pepper cup over here.
The Hot Pepper Show cup. Yes. So that's what, and I'm looking for the Hot Pepper Show to expand, for people to know about what I do and why I do it. It's necessary for the music that I play, for people to understand that there are artists that are saying some great things. And I think it's important to understand what people are saying, because I think that a lot of times music is louder than words, and people get caught up on the beat and the rhythm. And sometimes it's louder than the words, and sometimes the words are not clear, and it's just mumbo jumbo. So I strive to play music by artists where the words are clear and you can understand what they're saying. That's very important to me. So I always try to play things that you can understand, because words are important to me. First, the music gets me. Like, you can give me in that first 10 seconds, I'll be like, what? Okay, let's see what they're saying. Now, if they saying something crazy, I'll be like, music is good. Can you send me the instrumental? I can listen to the instrumental. I ain't listen to the rest of the stuff. But yeah, so I think it's important. I think it's important what people take in. I think it's important what you listen to. I really do. They say you are what you eat. You are what you listen to. You are. You are. So yeah.
Amazing.
So I'm hoping that the Hot Pepper Show is going to be nationwide, worldwide, as my daddy would say. Daughter, you could be worldwide. So I'm looking at worldwide, y'all. The Hot Pepper Show.
Amen. Now, is there anything you wanted to add to the interview that I didn't get to ask you?
No, I think you touched on everything.
Yeah, we got a good angle of what's happening in your life.
Yeah. Do that again. Do that again. Do that again, Samuel.
What's happening in your life?
What's happening in your life? Yes, what's happening? Oh, I was gonna say when I was mentioning Eric.
Oh,
Eric Roberson on the album, right? He wrote a song,
yes.
which really sums up. Like he
Mm,
wrote a song about why I do what I do. And when I listened to it, when I processed it, because it took me maybe a week after the album was presented to me for me to
mm,
sit in a quiet place to take it in, because it was so much
mm.
going on when they presented it to me that, I had 11 people. It was like these people look, and then I'm playing the song individually and interviewing the artist after each song, asking them how did they write it. So I got all this information. It's like, oh, and then so I had to sit back and go, okay, listen to every single song,
Mm.
to listen to every single word and what all the words mean. So in listening to the Eric Roberson song, it was like, didn't have to do it. And when he's saying, like, you played my music, like when I didn't think
Mm.
anyone was listening, like you
Wow.
heard every word, you heard every syllable, and my crowds have gotten bigger because you believed in me. Like when you enter the
Mm.
room, you're smiling. You said like all of it. And if more stations or more people or stations were like you, played the music like you, then it'd be a better, if there were more like you to play the music
Now,
instead
he
of
has
the
a way with
radio being
words.
watered down.
He
Huh?
has a way with words.
He has a way with words. Yeah.
He has a way with words. Shout out to Eric Roberson.
Yeah. Shout out to Eric. And it's like, yeah, it's just amazing how he did that. And then when I'm listening to the song, I go, did he say my name? He said 5-course meal every night, extra pepper. I was like, what? 5-course meal every night, extra pepper. I was like, and at the beginning he said, what's up, Pepper? I was like, put my name in the song. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up. So just
That's
grateful
what's up.
and grateful for the introduction by way of James, and I cannot forget Marvin Mack for the urban
Oh,
influence.
from our urban influences. Shout
Yeah,
out to the
for
urban
that
influences.
introduction,
Yes,
because
yes.
I would have not met you. And I don't believe in coincidences. I think
Mm.
and I believe that every encounter is for a reason. And I mean every encounter. I don't care if I saw you walking into McDonald's while passing by, which you don't go to McDonald's, but back in the day I used to. But yeah, every encounter, from the janitor to the president to the window washer,
Mhm,
every
mhm.
encounter. Um,
Yes, yes.
I believe in relationships. I really do. And I believe in
Mm,
and connecting people. And
mhm,
by the
mhm.
connection is how the House at Pepper built came about, because the artist on the album, I connected them to Antone Blanche J, who is now the musical vocal coach and background singer for Ari Lennox. She met Antone because I found her on Twitter. I said, "Oh, I like her
Mm.
music. Let me reach out to her." She sent the song to me. She lives in North Carolina. I said,
Right
"Hey,
up the street.
I like the right up the street, right?"
Right up
So
the
I was
street,
like,
yeah.
"Hey,
Yeah.
I like the song." I said, "You know what? Do you mind if I introduce you to Antone? He's a friend of mine in Dallas. He's a producer." And she says, "Absolutely." Introduce them, and she's on a plane. She flies to Dallas to meet him. She goes back to
Mm.
North Carolina and packs up her things with her best friends and relocate to Dallas,
Wow.
and working with Antone, and then gets a gig with Ari Lennox. So it's all about
Mm.
timing.
Yes, yes,
I was meant
yes.
to listen to the song. I was meant to connect. Just Miz, she's another artist didn't know she could sing. Been knowing her for 15 years. Met her at an Eric Roberson concert. And she says, "Hey, sis, can you listen to this music?" I said, "What music?" She says, I have a project. I was like, "What? You sing?" She's like, "Yeah." And I go, "Oh, okay." So I listened to it, and she says, "Can I get your opinion?" I says, "Sure." So also, artists, if you send me something, just to let you know, I try to be very honest.
Mm.
If the production is not right, if it's too much bass, too much treble,
Well,
it's not mixed right. If
yeah.
your
Mm-hmm.
vocals are, if I'm like, I'm very
Mm-hmm.
honest. So I tell people, if
Mm.
you want honesty, I'm not going to degrade you or belittle you. I give constructive criticism and I
Amen.
play what I like. It might be
Amen.
selfish, but I
Amen.
play what I like. And then I believe I have a good ear. So it's like, So Just Miss sent the music and I said, can I be honest? She said, sure. And I said, I really don't like it. It's,
Mm.
I hear something else. Would you mind if I introduce you to Antone? He's a producer, engineer out of Dallas. She said, sure.
Mm.
Now Miss is on everyone's project she's writing. She
Sky's the limit.
relocated back home. Yeah, the sky's the limit. So it's
Mm.
the connection. It's the
Amen.
relationships. It's the, Brayla's on the album. I gave Brayla her first interview, and she has a song on the album with Amber of Moonchild.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. So it's there's all a connection, and you just have to be careful, everyone.
Mhm.
Hello, don't burn your bridges.
Yes.
Don't burn your
Yes.
bridges because you just might need to cross back over them. So
Mm.
just and I always remember my dad always told me, be careful how you treat people because you never know when you're entertaining an angel.
Mm. Okay, that's I never heard that one. That's a nice one.
You never know when you're entertaining an angel. So just and they
Mm.
come in all forms, and you have discernment, when to be like, they kind of, I don't know. I ain't feeling too good right about now about this situation. So I think I need to back up. But yes. But yeah.
Amen, amen. So Pepper
Amen.
Thomas, this was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
This,
I loved it.
yeah, this was a crazy ride. This was a crazy. I wasn't expecting. Not that I expect interviews to go a certain way, but sometimes you just like, you do the interview and you're just I'm just so blown away.
Oh, wow, Samuel.
This
Thank
is
you.
amazing. You are
Thank you.
welcome, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
we can do this again. Hopefully we can do this
Yes.
again.
Yes. I would
And
do this again with you. We could do it.
oh,
We can, and we won't even call it a do-over. I would look at, I would do it again with you, Samuel. That didn't sound right, but yeah, I'm like,
they know,
okay.
they know. We got to give them a little something to like. Oh yeah, if we got to give them a little something.
Keep them intrigued. They'd be like, oh, we got to come back for more. What they gonna talk about again?
That's.
But I want to give you your shout out. Thank you again for wanting to interview me, because people don't have to be nice. So thank you for being nice and wanting to interview me. It means a lot because this is not my. I'm usually you. I'm you. I'm
yes,
you.
Yes.
I'm you.
You're on this side of the mic. Yes.
I'm usually over here going, oh, so let me tell you what I know. Let me see. Let me do what we're gonna do. So I thank you for being patient with me and helping me to feel comfortable doing this, because I was having some butterflies and they were like, really, Pepper? And I go, yeah. So thank you. I was like, oh, what he gonna ask? Lord Jesus, what did he find out that I didn't know he knew? I forgot to say something.
Oh, please do.
I only said one producer, Antone Albert. The other producer is Rodney Jones. Rodney Jones and Antone Albert produced The House That Pepper Built. Two great producers. Yeah. Rodney Jones produces for Kanye Das, Eric Roberson. So Rodney Jones and Antone Albert. I can't never say his name right, but yeah, they produced the album. Oh, and then also.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. We'll fit it in.
Also, download, stream The House That Pepper Built. It's on all streaming platforms: Pandora, Spotify, Tidal, Apple, YouTube, Google, all of it. So stream The House That Pepper Built. You will enjoy it. It's a must-have in your collection.
Amen.
Not because I said it, but it's true.
We love your music. We love you. We love you. We love you, and we love the crew. We love the story, and we're going to partake.
Thank you so much. But yes, Muzilog, you guys support him. You're doing great things. I pop in on yours
Thank
too. I'll
you.
be like, what he doing? Hmm.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. And I'm just going to extend it. If any of the artists on the
Hmm.
project
Hmm.
um, wants to jump on here and give their backstory on how they wrote your song and what they want to
Oh,
share the experience or anything, um, I can have up to again. I'm just throwing it out there.
uh-huh.
With StreamYard, we can have up to I think up to 10 people on.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if they want, they want to say, hey, let's do like a full thing and chop it up and have some fun. I'm throwing it out there. The
Okay.
invitation is there. The invitation is there. And we can even put a little more emphasis behind folks really sharing the story and
Yes.
loving the house that Pepper built.
Thank you. So can I come back when they come back?
Of course,
Okay.
your family right now.
Oh, right now until
Um,
my welcome is done.
no, let's say forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Do like KRS-One. We will be here forever,
Forever, ever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. Yes.
forever.
Forever, ever, forever, ever, 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 ever.